Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whatever time of day this is for you. I started a little video yesterday. Got interrupted, so I just shut it off. Kids home today, so they all had first day of school. And I need to keep my girl home. Yeah, she picked up some visitors. I thought I had it all cleared out. So, hey, yeah, that's a job in itself, right? Anyways, been working at that. Good today, so it'll be done. She goes to school Thursday and Friday, and then they go every day next week. See, the boys had an okay time there. So that's first day. Intermediate now. Public school that they go to only goes to grade 6, so yeah, my two youngest boys they're going to the same school now. Well, Liam will only be there for another year. Grade 12 now. Seth's just starting in there. Grade 7. Our girls in grade 2. Yeah. Oh wait, hi. It's me, Winkish New Bay, Majaki Clay. Sweetgrass Water Medicine Woman, your friendly freaky ass. Really wore out medicine woman. Christianna Chris Car, superstar. Yep. Oh, that's beautiful divine being right here. Welcome, you beautiful divine beings right here too. How goes it? Within Wednesdays. So there's lots going on. Within. I did that little within yet. Yes, last week, right? Talked about that appointment that was coming up there last Thursday. That went okay. Yes. Had some things that, okay, that makes me feel better. It's hard to be in these situations where to be human is something that goes against you, you know, to have human emotions, to, you know, to get upset by things. I don't know. It's hard when I can't share the details. There's some that know what my children and I have been growing through. Others that don't. I'm a very private person, so I keep it to myself, and even some of my closest friends don't know exactly. Big part, I don't like to bum anybody out, right? I always like to be smiling. I like to be, you know, cause smiles in people and not tears, right? Right? Whether they're laughing at a story, you know? But that's something that I've had to work through myself. Because is it that I'm worried about bumming somebody out? Or am I worried that they're gonna get upset with me because I'm bringing them down? You know, I don't know. It's weird. For me, I don't know if anybody else feels that way. I've had a hard time to show my vulnerabilities. Like, I've been very much like a guy in that way. Well, I guess I was kind of raised like the guy that toughened up. Right? I was toughened up. My brothers were softened up. I was toughened up. Not that my brothers are soft, right? But, you know, they weren't your typical guys, I guess. In some ways, and in other ways, they weren't. You know, I just see differences. And it's beautiful, right? There's nothing better or worse. It's just different. It's beautiful. To each their own, man. I'm a firm believer in that. Firm believer in that. You know? Love is my religion. That's my way of life. That's it. Love and acceptance, right? Yeah, you like to play in your shit, you go ahead. Just don't get that shit on me. Sometimes I get a little too close. I get myself splashed myself, right? I can't put that all on you. I'll go clean myself up and get a boundary there too, right? A shit barrier. Hey, right? Shit's not a bad thing, right? We need shit to fertilize our crops and stuff. Why not? All depends on how you look at it, right? Reframe. Reframe. Yeah. Been up and down. Hey, that's the way it goes. TMI the other day, right? There's a flow. Yeah, well, that was unusual too, because it's been different. So I've had to, in my own begin withins, right? Seeing, is this hormones? Is this why, I think all of us women, it's so important to know our cycles. For myself personally, right? Think, oh, everything's going along great, and then all of a sudden I'm just like, everything just seems, and then I get on my moon time app. Oh, that's why, right? I didn't have the flow for a while because, trying to have something to balance out hormones to see if this was affecting my humanity, the emotions and stuff that I was going through. It turns out, like, just dealing with a lot of shit, man. A lot of shit. I get a lot of shit projected on me, right? And I'm sure I do the same thing. So I try to be extra cautious. Like, I'm hyper vigilant of myself more than anybody. I'm hyper vigilant of myself because I don't want to put on anybody else, right? Anything that's felt bad to me, I don't want to do that to anybody else because it's another part of my firm beliefs. This is a golden rule, right? Right? Any language, treat others the way you want to be treated. Not often, right? I don't go treating people the way they've treated me, but I did fall into that. I'm trying to pull myself back out of that, right? So I fell into that. Well, how do you like it then? But that's not me, right? I'm not a spiteful person. I'm not a revenge because, right, when you're fighting fire with fire, everybody, who's going to be there to put you out? Like, it's just never made sense to me, I have been caught up in things, and I noticed, and I found myself arguing and stuff, but what I argue over really is what I am feeling. So why somebody argues with me about what I am feeling is, like, I don't know what somebody else is feeling. Even my own kids, I can say, well, you look frustrated. It's part of my job to give them language so that they can identify their feelings and what they're feeling. Well, you look frustrated. Well, you look disappointed. I see that you look kind of sad. What is it that you're feeling in there? Because I'm not in you, right? So, and I want to know what's going on in you. It's breaking my heart. It's perfect because my kids don't talk to me. It's been made, I don't know. There's just so much going on that that affects kids. You have to be very careful about what you say in front of kids because you don't know how that's going to affect them. And it's not fair to interfere with the relationship with either of their parents, whether you're the other parent or a friend or whatever. Your opinions about a child's parent should be kept to yourself and not told to that child, okay? Everybody's got their opinion, but when you start talking to a child about their parents, and you don't know the kind of effect that has, and it does. So be careful. Be very careful when there's children around, and maybe you don't like the person, their parent, or whatever. Either way, you don't bring kids into adult shit. You don't share your adult opinions with children because that has an effect. It really does, whether you see it or you don't, right? And you probably never will. You probably never will see the effect, right? But it does. Creates a turmoil in those kids because those kids, no matter what, they're half both their parents. And there's enough shaming. This world has gone through so much shaming. Nobody should be ashamed of themselves. No, right? Like that healthy guilt if you've done something to hurt somebody, so then to make you want to make up for that. But There's healthy shame too, right? Again, where it's I need to make some, but there's nothing wrong with your being. You know, feeling ashamed of what you did, not of who you are, right? Because we're all on this human journey learning these lessons. Some of them are very hard. We're learning, right? Look at the growth that comes from those, right? I read lots like that seed. It doesn't, you know, look at these trees. It didn't go through an easy thing to get to be a tree, right? And then it didn't just spring up in a day to be a tree. Any plant, anything you plant, right? And the story of the locust and how the locust grows, right? It's not just story, it's the facts of how it grows. It grows through the mud, right? And comes up onto the water. So look at what the diamond's got to go through to become a diamond. So, you know, we're made from the elements. We're made from the earth and from the spirit and all of this too. So why wouldn't those same physical, spiritual, scientific laws apply to these human bodies too, or whatever, right? We get refined through these trials. I don't believe that God or the universe actually tests us. I believe we test each other. We test each other's faith. We test our own faith. Because why would our Creator need to test us? It created us. It knows us better than we know ourselves, right? It knows the beginning, the end, and all the in-betweens, right? So why would it have to test us? I think that's a human thing. We made tests to prove ourselves to each other, right? Why do we have to prove ourselves to somebody who already knows us, who made us, who knows everything backwards and forwards, in-betweens, inside out, whatever, right? So that's just what makes sense to me. I don't know, that's for you, right? To each their own, to each their own. But I really see that. And I'm not one to... But I've caught that in myself too. Am I putting a test? Am I putting a test out there? Because I don't want to. It's not a test. It's about discerning too, right? My being in your life going to help you? You being in my life going to help me? Right? Whatever that is. I don't know. There's lots going on. You got to get it all sorted through. And it will. Because I have faith. I'm fully supported. Always praying and calling it in. I don't know how I get through because my body is... Man, I've been calling in that help and support for years because my body has been in burnout and exhaustion. And before I even moved in here, it's like I just wanted to... Like I shared before, right? That like maybe even going... Having a jacket that makes me feel loved in a padded cell. Nice and quiet. Just go to my little world in my head. But physically, because that's what takes the most out of me. Because physically, right? If I didn't have all these physical issues, I probably wouldn't have all the problems I have with my kids. They've been taught to take advantage. And if there weren't these things that they could trigger in my physical body, or that I trigger from trying to stay calm and, you know, do the thing as a mom, because you don't want to freak out about everything. There's my son in my face again. But it physically hurts. And then it hurts my heart when, you know, as a human being, and the body can only take so much. And then you're triggered, right? Because my body in that physical state is always in that fight or flight mode. So anything added to it, and it just doesn't handle stress. Right? Even if I tell it I can't calm it down, it just starts spazzing out, going, no, I don't want to think no more. I don't have the panic attacks with that, but man, and it's just little things, right? For me, I was always a physical girl, so that's tough. And then I think wouldn't be in this position where I potentially lose my kids because people are taking what my physical things look like, right? Because I can get shaky, right? But that's the spasms and the physical things. And even when I'm not anxious, but I could look like I'm anxious, I can look like I'm distraught. It has effect on my speaking and cause me stuttering because everything's squeezing and stuff like that too. So when you go through processes where people are reading your body language, my body language doesn't give a clear thing about what's going on in my head. It just gives a clear thing about what's going on in my body. Constant squeezing, spasms, the shaking. You know, you've seen Wayne's World where Garth's head is like vibrating. I feel that lots. It doesn't show as much on the outside. There's always a thing inside. So that's a tough one, right? So I'm so grateful for the supports that I have and that have been sent to me. I truly believe, because I pray and then there it comes, right? Ask and you shall receive, and it happens, and not always in the way that I thought or who I thought it would be, or that's why I just always remain open, right? Hey, you know better than me, right? Send me what I need. That's gonna help me now. Help my children. So, Wednesday check-in within Wednesdays. How you do? How you doing? Oh, I want to do some cards, but this is yeah. So, yeah, within Wednesdays, what's going on within you? How goes it? Oh, how do you deal with physical changes in your body? Do they affect your emotions? You know, have you had anything, maybe something you used to love doing, but then something's happened and physically you can't do it anymore, and there's something that's happened where you can't do something that you've loved, or you've had to adapt it? And how have you adjusted to that? How has that affected you as a human being, right? Whatever it has been that maybe has limited you in some way where you weren't limited before. Maybe even just with these old, natural things. Body changes, right? We go through puberty, and then we go through things when we're aging too. Everything's changing again, hormones and stuff like that. How is that working within you? How are you? Yeah, we all got the changes. How does it affect you, right? This helps us get understanding for each other too, right? Right? And compassion. Because we all go through these things. It's not the same things. We can never know exactly what somebody else is going through. We could help us. Right? Could help us. So, but again, right? To each their own. It's up to you. It's just a suggestion. All right. Biggest heart hugs ever. Oh. Thank you for being you and shining your light through in everything you do, because you know it. This world really needs you, and especially now. Thanks. Thanks for listening. Thanks for sharing. Love you. Wonderful, blessed day.